Hey viewers, Andrew back again and welcome to another Blu-ray update. Yep, only Blu-rays this time, all horror and sci-fi, so I'm just going to get straight into it. We'll start with the horror ones first. So the first two that I'm about to show you, I just wanted to quickly thank EJ, aka Puckbond007. We were chatting a few weeks ago. He recommended some horror films that he loved from his collection, so I picked up a couple of ones that sounded interesting. I picked them up cheap. The first one is the Tim Burton classic Beetlejuice. Now, I'd completely forgotten about this film, and after watching it, I remembered seeing it years and years ago. This is a great film. Not full-on horror, probably more comedy, light horror. Still really, really good. I'm sure most of you have seen it, own it, but if you don't, pick it up. The next one I absolutely love, and that's An American Werewolf in London. This came out in 1981, I believe, and it holds up absolutely brilliantly. Great cast of characters, really, really like the storyline, and the effects, oh my god. Horror producers, directors, whatever, you do not need a lot of over-the-top gore and CGI to have effective effects, okay? Go back to basics, honestly. I was blown away by how awesome the makeup effects in this were, especially on all the undead characters, and the werewolf transformation was fantastic. So, yeah, it just shows that practical effects are better. So if you haven't seen this film, check it out. Next is Switchblade Romance, also known as High Tension. Bloody fantastic modern take on the old school 70s, early 80s slashers. So if you're a fan of that sort of horror movie and you haven't seen this one, pick it up. I'm not too sure how I feel about the ending, but other than that, fantastic film. Next is Let Me In. I'm sure a lot of people have seen this or picked it up. I'm a huge fan of the original Let the Right One In, and I've got to say I enjoyed this one slightly more, only just though. Great cast of characters. I felt the storyline and characters gave a little bit more of an in-depth look into themselves on screen. Probably the language had a lot to do with it, but yeah, really intense, really brutal, and I loved it. Now on to my sci-fi. So the first one is Stargate, the Ultimate Edition, comes in a nice slipcase. If you're thinking of picking this up on Blu-ray, this is the edition to get. Great film. Next we have Moon. This is a real slow-burning thinking man sci-fi. Definitely one of the better sci-fis from the past few years. Despite the low filming budget, the production values are great, so I'd highly recommend this one. Really enjoyed it. These films don't really need much introduction, and it's the Matrix and Matrix Reloaded. You'll know that I don't have the third film, can't stand it, so I just picked up the first two, love them both. Next we have the Alien Anthology, and I'm kind of annoyed that I left it so long to pick this one up, but finally I do own it. Aliens, my favourite sci-fi horror film ever, and the sequel Aliens is almost as good but not quite. I've never seen 3 and 4, probably will eventually, but in no hurry. This is a fantastic box set. Awesome transfers and stacked with some awesome special features. And the last one's the pick of the bunch, and if you don't own it or haven't seen it and you're a sci-fi fan, pick it up, and that is Planet of the Apes, the 5-disc movie set, 40th Evolution. Comes in a slipcase. And I've got to say, this is the best overall series that I've ever seen. Yeah, despite some of the films not being quite as good as others, of course the original's the best. I thought the third and fifth movie were tied for second. Then I liked the fourth, and the second film was my least favourite, so that'll go last. But as an ongoing series, this is the best I've seen, especially for character development and the storyline. It flowed absolutely brilliantly between all the movies, made for really solid and addictive viewing. So yeah, definitely one of the best ongoing storylines to a film series. And this really shows what HD and Blu-ray can do for older movies. Almost flawless transfers for all films. Definitely for films of its time, the best transfers that I've come across within that time period. So yeah, this is definitely one worth upgrading to Blu-ray or picking up on Blu-ray. Utterly amazing. Well, that's it for this Blu-ray update. As always, rate and comment, love the comments, and thanks a lot for watching.